Yeah, it's recording
Okay,
now.
here we go. Now it's recording.
But
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Tom here again. I'm with here with my boy David.
what's
David, say
going
what's
on,
up.
boys? What's up, guys?
David, tell the viewers where you're from. How old are you? Do you have any college experience? And how many years were you at Vivint?
Yeah, so I'm David. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. 24 years old now. College experience. I went to USF for accounting. That's actually where I met Tom in the USF gym, and I got recruited. And I did Vivint for about 2.5, 3 years.
Nice. And then tell the viewers how much you made your first year, and then how much you made your second summer.
Yeah, so my first year I made roughly around like 23 grand or so, and that was coming in with like absolutely no sales experience at all. I don't really have a first real job yet at that point, and I got out about like a month late too because of school. Typically, they'll head out like a month before, school will end. And then second year, same thing. I was wrapping up my degree, so I graduated and then went out to that summer. And then that summer, I essentially doubled my income and made like 46 grand.
Oh yeah. So you went from 5 or 6 grand to like, I don't know the math on 40, like eight. So you basically went from like 5 or 6 to like 8 or 9 grand.
Yeah,
Could be more, could be less.
give or take.
Cool. And that you said that was your first job, like ever? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was like my first real job, really. Like I've done like restaurant work, like delivering pizzas and stuff before that, but like no college internships, nothing like that.
Gotcha. Did you were you into any other business models before getting to sales at Vivint? Like, did you do drop shipping or like
Yeah,
anything, or did you
that's
try to do like
a
social media content, affiliate
that's a
marketing?
that's a great question. So I definitely looked into like a ton of those models because I always knew I didn't necessarily want the typical 9 to 5 like route, intern, get hired, and then, you're stuck there 9 to 5. So I knew I never really wanted that. So I certainly did look at like a ton of offers, right? But people typically know, to get guidance or coaching on these offers, you have to buy a course, which is, typically anywhere from like 2,500 to 5 grand. And as a college student who never really had a job, like I obviously couldn't, afford those. So it's like you can use YouTube and whatnot, but again, any business model, you need money to make money, right? Which is why Vivint was, super great opportunity. I mean, it's very rare that people who are already making millions of dollars doing something are going to take time out of their day for free to then teach you how to do that as well.
Oh yeah. And what were you going to school for at USF?
I was going for accounting.
Gotcha. I guess other than me, what made you choose like door to door or just like sales in general?
Really it just goes back to like I knew I didn't want the 9 to 5, like, because I remember before I went out for the for my first summer, I went to a career fair and I had like a few interviews. I had like an interview downtown at like an accounting firm, and it's just like the whole like back and forth, like corporate jargon, emails, and all that. It's like it wasn't for me. Where in Vivint, especially with Tom, everyone's like super chill, down to earth. Like you can really hit up Tom at any time, and he's down to help you, whether it's weekends, after hours, and that goes for really everyone.
Oh yeah. And out of like your first summer and your second summer, tell the viewers like what do you feel like was one of your best qualities to I guess have the success that you had your first year and your second year? Like two things that like helped you, because you were pretty much one of the top performers your first year, like right along me as well as your second year. So tell the viewers like what two qualities helped you towards achieving those goals.
Yeah, first year it was it really just came down to being too dumb to quit, right? learning a new skill that you haven't proved yourself that you can do. You either have to be too dumb to quit or smart enough to see it through and really just keep grinding. So first year was really just kind of like a I don't want to say mindless grind, but certainly just grinding with that mindset like, hey, win or lose, these reps are going to count and they're going to go to me getting better, right? That's one thing that helped me my first year. Another would just be open to learning, right? Like reaching out a ton to, Tom, other leaders, and just really trying to soak in that information. Year two, definitely resilience, right? Year two, there was a lot of crud, a lot of crap, right? But I mean that's the same in any place where there's such a great opportunity and you're allowed to make so much money. So really just resilience, doubling down, anchoring down in yourself, your beliefs, your work ethic, and really just like sticking with the people who are doing the same, right? So Tom and everyone else essentially, right? Really great culture. And then second year, getting a better hang for it, I could kind of tell what I was doing wrong. So taking, personal notes throughout the day, like, hey, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. And then really specifically honing in on those things, like myself, as well as reaching out to others like Tom, who are really good at those things, like personally, and asking them how they would handle it. That certainly helped me have a big leap in the second year.
Nice, man. I feel like I got so many things out of that. First thing was just being too dumb to quit. So, winner is just a loser who never quit. So you just kind of stuck it through. So most people, quit before they even see their first sale or let alone like one whole summer. You also talked about resilience. Entrepreneurship is definitely not for the weak. You have to grind like every single day. Um, Other things you said is being resourceful. There's a lot of resources out there, but you have to like, seek and find and ask questions and, go to the people that have the results that you have and kind of like swallow your own pride and, try to learn as much as you can from them. And then just taking the accountability of going out there, trialing and then failing and then continuously like learning, like you said, you know, there's always going to be a fish in the room that has more money than you, that's in better shape than you, has more skills than you, has a better network, a better, following than you. So you can never be too good. There's always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Um, this is a good question because I remember this. How long did it take you to close like your first deal or so?
You probably remember this too. So I went on the
Yeah,
Texas Blitz. I knocked for like a day before, or maybe two before that. And then that was a 2 week blitz. So I closed that deal. And then the guy calls me the next day and says, we're not doing it. So it gets clawed back essentially. And I'm like, damn, I just spent 2 weeks doing this and I didn't close anything. Like, it made no money. And you remember, I was bugging. I needed to make money those 2 weeks too.
yeah,
That was funny, bro. But yeah, then I want to say it was maybe like I took 3 weeks off for school and then knocked 1 week in Florida, so like preseason. And yeah, I got my first sale.
nice. So it
So
took
I
him about
3 weeks,
two,
2, 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, so you got guys like Sebastian in the other call who got his first sale in 3 or 4 days, and took David 2 or 3 weeks to even see a paycheck. So, that just goes to show most people wouldn't have been willing to wait that long to see a paycheck or to see, a result. And it's honestly so sad because nowadays with me and David and us doing entrepreneurship and social media, we'll go like when you create content, you'll go like a month or two, 3, 6 months a year of like not seeing anything crazy, and then it finally just like clicks, or you start getting momentum and traction with your videos, or our
Yeah,
brand reaches out to you. So it's like, people can't wait like a week or 2 or 3 in the gym or whatever they're trying to do. It's like, damn, like how are you gonna do anything? Um,
exactly.
so how did it feel, I guess, after the summer? Like, year over year? How did it feel like, making that money, getting it back in check, and overall like developing? How'd you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty surreal. You can certainly tell how much you separate yourself from other people who didn't do something like that, or just anything in general, because it's like when you're there, it's like you're in like a time capsule. It's like nothing
Yeah,
outside of it exists, right? But in it's a vacuum. But in reality, it's 3, 4 months, and the progress you make as a person, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, and really anything, in that 3 months is multiplied tenfold. Like, cause you can tell, like, when you go back to your hometown, right? Or you hang out with people you knew, you're like, holy shit, these people are stuck in the mud. Like, I feel like I've, learned so much.
yeah. And how locked in were you, I guess, when you started, and kind of what was your mindset like going into it, and then as like you continued to like progress? Like, did you
Yeah.
think you were gonna like stick it out, or like,
Yeah, no, I was pretty locked. And then once I got like I mean, it really wasn't too much of any better opportunity available to me. So I was like, hey, lock in, do this, man. It's really what it comes down to.
yeah? And what was your biggest like upfront check at the event in a week?
I want to say probably 3 or 4 grand.
Nice. Oh yeah. And your biggest like deposit at the event?
Biggest deposit was what was it? Was it 12? I think it was 12. It was like 11
Oh yeah.
something. And we were in Cabo at the back end, right? When that hit, and you're like, that's a lot of money.
It
That's a
goes
lot
quick.
of money.
Last question. What's your message to people, who might be wanting to get into door to door or any sort of sales or entrepreneurship, something that's not like unorthodox? What would be like your message to them um, that are trying to get started but haven't taken that leap of faith?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if you're drawn towards those things that Thomas mentioned, sales, entrepreneurship specifically, you probably already know this, that you're like different from other people. My best advice really would be to like, dude, like stop trying to fit in. Like embrace that you're different, right? Go seek out other people who are different, right? Maybe you get a good spawn point and maybe your best friend is too. He's willing to do that. Might not be the case. Like you might need to get out of your comfort zone, right? Reach out to other individuals like Tom, like other leaders you see who you want to be like, and really just try to surround yourself with other different people who are, along the same path. Because once you grow in numbers and create a strong community, but more importantly, culture, that's when that's when shit can shake, man.
Yeah, and then I like how you said you were talking about like your environment and who you're around. David used to be in Tampa, now he's in Massachusetts for a little bit of time. Tell him how different it's been from Tampa moving
Yeah.
back up to the
Uh,
Northeast.
I gotta get back, man. I gotta get back. It's not the end of the world, but it's like I was saying, right? Like I knew I was different, so for me, that decision was me leaving my hometown of Massachusetts and going to Florida, right? I sensed there was some motion going on down there, right? So that's no one. I knew absolutely no one in Florida, but I was like, hey, man, I'm gonna go to school 20-hour, 23-hour drive away from my home, right? Because I feel like, that's the best opportunity for me to succeed and find other like-minded individuals, right? So,
How
and
vital would you how vital would you say that leaving your hometown is to becoming who you want to be?
have to, have to. There's not only physically, just mentally, right? Because you're still somewhat attached to that younger version of yourself who probably had, far more flaws and traits you'd like to let go and learn from. But when you're stuck in your hometown, it's like you can't necessarily distance yourself from them, right? Because you're stuck.
They're they're there.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
me and David could go on probably for hours. This meeting's going to end in about a second. So if you guys have enjoyed, make sure you guys click the link in my bio to potentially fill out a form to get some mentorship, some coaching from me. We'll see if you qualify, and if you're a good fit, we'll hop on a call. Thanks,
All right.
David.
Hell yeah, Tom. Thanks for chatting, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll see you next time.